So I played Kirby Air Riders, and is it fun? I don't know. As many of you are aware, this weekend we were given the opportunity to play a little bit of Kirby Air Riders before it actually comes out on November 20th, in the form of a downloadable global test ride. Only available for a few hours at a time, I did manage to log in and try it for a bit, just to get a feel of everything. And yeah, I'm really unsure what this was all about. Basically, Air Riders is a sequel to the game Kirby Air Ride that was released on the GameCube in 2003. And well, I do remember renting this game from Blockbuster when I was still a kid, but I don't really remember playing it that much. It's some sort of racing game featuring Kirby and his friends riding on different flying vehicles, but as opposed to other racing titles like Mario Kart or Sonic Racing, you don't actually press a button to move forward and collect items and whatnot. Instead, your vehicle actually moves on its own and you kind of just steer it left and right. Obviously, there's a twist. If you push a button, your vehicle will brake and will start charging a boost. Releasing the button then gives you the speed boost, so you're kind of meant to do that in the sharp turns of the tracks to always keep your speed to the max. Kirby Air Riders is pretty much that. It's exactly the same game. And that's a good thing. The global test ride starts off by teaching you the basics. You know, how to move, how to turn, how to brake, how to boost, and also a couple more advanced techniques. This is still available today if you want to try it out, by the way. Just get on the eShop and download this app over here. Anyways, during a few hours this weekend, more modes were opened to the public to try it out. The first one is the racing mode, which is pretty much what I described earlier. You race against other players on some tracks and have to get in first place. This mode was only available against computer players, which is a bit of a bummer, but then again, it's just a demo, so whatever, it's no biggie. This mode was kind of fun, I enjoyed it. The 3 tracks that were available to play are quite fun and all very different from one another. The one that starts off on a beach where you have to ride in between 2 giant tidal waves is actually pretty cool. If you mess up your sharp turns, you'll get lost inside the wave and it gets very confusing real quick. There are some power-ups to collect throughout the track, but in order to get them, you have to swallow the enemy and copy their abilities. Yup, just like a traditional Kirby game. Those power-ups work exactly as they would in a Kirby game. The sword ability gives you a sword to hit people with, the fireball allows you to throw fireballs at people, and so on. Each character also has a special power-up that you can use, eventually when the game tells you to. It probably has something to do with the loading bar down there, but I don't remember exactly. I think the more you hit enemies, the more the bar goes up or something. Anyways, those special abilities are all different depending on the character you play as. For example, King Dedede gets a speed boost from using his hammer. Gooey turns into a weird dark matter thing that shoots shadowy bolts. Rick the hamster starts running like a complete mad lad. And well, you get the point. I kinda like that these abilities are all different because depending on the game mode, your playstyle, and also your opponents, well, you can pick the right character for you at that time. So there's a lot going on during those races, but it's nothing compared to the second game mode that was available to play during the demo, City Trial. I know this game mode was the most popular one to play in Kirby Air Ride on GameCube, so bringing it back was obviously gonna happen. But man oh man, did they crank up the craziness with this sequel. I played this mode for a few hours. I won some games, I lost some, but there is one thing for sure. Most of the time, I had no clue what the f was going on. So, from what I understand, this game mode puts you and 15 other players in a big city and you have like 5 minutes to explore it and collect a bunch of power-ups. You see all those icons all over the place? Well, these are the power-ups in question. Some give you more speed, more defense, more offense, more health point, etc, etc. And you want to collect as many as you can while avoiding all of the other players' attacks. And also the random events that can happen during your game. Those random events include giant falling meteors, a giant wheelie enemy roaring down the road, a destruction derby happening in a corner of the map, and way more. There's typically at least one random event every 5 minutes, so you're bound to stumble on one. Anyways, you can participate in those events, or you can just try to avoid them and run away and do your own thing. The choice is yours. But yeah, after those 5 minutes are passed, the game will be over and you'll see the state of your vehicle. You'll see how fast it has become, how strong it is, how powerful you got. And then it's going to be time for the stadium mode. And from what I gathered, you'll be presented with 4 different choices of challenges. Some of these are races, some are battles, some will ask you to glide in the sky as far as you can, and there's even some team boss fights. You'll have to vote on the stadium you want to go play, and you will actually compete in that stadium against the other players that voted for it. So yeah, it's not a popular vote that brings all 16 players together in one challenge. Nope, instead you'll all be split up and will only compete against those who picked the same thing as you. This is a weird game design choice, because at one point I just ended up competing against one other player, which was a bit of a bummer. And I'm sure you can even end up being alone in a challenge, which kinda defeats the purpose of powering up your vehicle for 5 minutes beforehand. Anyways, you'll want to pick the challenge that suits your vehicle best. And as I haven't played this game enough to start being strategic about anything, I just chose the recommended option every time. These challenges are kinda fun, but a bit too short, especially after spending all that time building the ultimate death machine. At least during the challenges, things quieted down and I could always tell what was going on. Because let me tell you, during the city trial, it wasn't always the case. I mean, sometimes I just couldn't tell what was going on in my screen. Like, am I winning? Am I good? What is even happening anymore? This game mode is super hectic, super chaotic, and my boomer brain doesn't seem to be able to understand anything that's happening on my screen right now. But truth be told, it's still kind of fun. Yup, as random, goofy, and crazy as everything gets, it still scratches something deep down inside me. There is a fun factor that kicks in. You're not too sure if you're even doing anything right, but it's just straight up fun to keep playing. Like, I could play city trials for hours upon hours and I'm sure I would not get bored of it. There is something about it, I don't know what, but it keeps you craving for more. Like right now, I'm watching the footage while writing the script and I kinda wish I could go back and play it a bit more. But alas, I'll have to wait for next week when the demo opens up again. Because yes, if you missed out last week on Kirby Air Riders, well, you'll be thrilled to know that you can get a second chance next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I guess afterwards, when the actual game comes out, you'll be able to play it anytime. The thing is, I'm gonna be playing it again this weekend for sure. So, am I sold on Kirby Air Riders? Yesn't? Like, I don't know how long I will be playing this game for, and I don't know if the novelty factor will wear off quick, but I do know that the global test ride did get me excited for the full game. And considering everything that we saw during the 2 Nintendo Direct presentations, this game has so much more to offer, way more options, way more game modes, way more characters, way more everything. I know I will be picking it up on day one, just because it's a freaking first-party Nintendo game. I buy all of them anyways. But yeah, what about you? What did you think about the Kirby Air Riders Global Test Ride? Is this game for you? Is this game one you're gonna skip? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's get the discussion ball rolling. And yeah, my videos are now available on Spotify. If you want to check them out on that platform, just search for Nicobbq and you'll find them all. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I guess I'll see you on the Kirby Air Ride battlefield once the game comes out. Or maybe not, if you don't buy the game. I don't know, we'll see. Thanks for watching, check out those videos, they're cool. Bye bye!